Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and what they're going to be doing with that moving forward. Apparently, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles franchise is headed back to the big screen, this time as an animated romp titled Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. The film hails from producers Evan Goldberg and Seth Rogen, so there's some known names there. Rogen said, as a lifelong fan of Ninja Turtles, weirdly, the teenage part of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was always the part that stuck out to me the most. And as someone who loves teenage movies and who's made a lot of teenage movies and who literally got their start in their entire profession by writing a teenage movie, the idea of kind of honing in on that element was really exciting to us. I mean, not disregarding the rest, but really using that as kind of a jumping off point for the film. And I wanted to just talk about that. I mean, they didn't really give us many other details about the movie. They're making it. It's going to be animated. They talk about a couple other little things we'll get into in a minute. But I know I like the Teenage Mutant Ninja. I was a huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan when I was a kid. Like, I was kind of obsessive about it. And I loved the 1990 movie, and I liked the second movie, and the third one was terrible. But I was really big into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and collected the toys and everything and watched the show. I kind of fell off of that as I got a bit older, and like the first animated, or I guess the only animated movie that they came out with, TMNT, I thought was okay.
Well, before you say that, did you know there's another one that came out on Netflix this weekend called Rise of the Ninja Turtles?
I did not know
Yes.
that it an actual movie, or is because there's an animated show, isn't there? That's what I think that is going on in the background.
Yeah, there was a
here.
show, but there was a movie that just released yesterday on Netflix.
Really? I did not know that. I had no idea. Well, that shows you how into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles I am right now, but or how in the know I am for Ninja Turtles. But I was, when it came to that, I saw the animated movie like when it came home, the one that came out in I think 2009 or something like that. Yeah. And then they had, of course, the Michael Bay movies. I saw them. I didn't hate them, but I didn't think they were just kind of there. It seemed like the Transformers with big ass mutant turtles instead of robots. That's all it was. And hey, it served its purpose. What it was. This news to me is just kind of like, okay, sure, fine. I mean, I'll see if it gets good review. If people start talking positively about it, if we see a trailer and it looks cool, I'll probably see it because of my channel, but I'm not like super hyped about it. The fact that Evan Goldberg and Seth Rogen are involved in it doesn't really do anything for me. Seth Rogen he's a funny guy, and there was a time when him being attached to something for me was like meant something. Now it's kind of like, I mean, he's just Seth Rogen. I mean, some people hate him, some people love him. I'm kind of in the middle about it. I think, like, as far as like his film career and his entertainment career, I think he's fine. He's kind of he's got like that Melissa McCarthy thing where he's just kind of the same thing and everything now. He's just playing Seth Rogen. I'm not going to get into his personal life. It is what it is. I don't really give a shit about that. He doesn't strike me as the best person in the world due to how he's done some things. But either way, I'm not really that blown. I'm not looking forward to this movie in the traditional sense. I mean, I'll see it when it comes out, and hopefully it's awesome. Yeah. It sounds like, I will say this regardless of what you think of the guy, I think he cares about the property, and that's cool. So maybe they'll treat it properly, and maybe it'll get me back into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But what about you, Nick? What do you think of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in this news?
Well, hold on a second. I'll show you how I feel. If I can really show it very well. Is it green? No. Oh,
it's absolutely nothing. That's what Nick has to show us. Oh, there it is. That's a Eastman and Laird.
Yeah. Here's what I think. I love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think the '90s movie is actually quite good for something that is based off some reptiles and animatronic robot or animatronic characters and stuff like that. You know what they need to do with this movie? They need to make it like Sausage Party and just become super R-rated and turtles having sex with other turtles, or
oh my God,
rats or some shit. Can you imagine that?
I mean, I could. They had on that note. They have flat out said, because some people were wondering, is because this is the creators of Sausage Party, and they said no, we're not doing that. They're staying in line with what the Turtles have always been. They're not making it a raunchy thing. But yeah, you're not the first ones to wonder that or say, hey, that would be cool. I don't know if I want to see that or not, but I mean, I'd watch it. You know what? I would be more interested in watching that than the teenage. They just don't do it for me anymore. I mean, I think they're cool, but it just I don't know. Maybe I grew out of it.
The two main shows I watched when I was a kid was that show and Ghostbusters, I think it was, or Mask, one of those shows. So I've been always big into Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It doesn't mean I have like a billion collectibles. I got that. I've had that thing since I was like 4 years old when we got it signed. But, you know, it's got to be better than the crap you have displayed behind us. I mean, that crap looks like a cheap reboot series nonsense. I heard it was good, but it's like
that's the Nickelodeon show. I think. I just picked a picture.
No, I know it looks like dime store character. It's so bad looking.
But I think that was an artistic choice. I think, I don't know. I mean, I think that I'm pretty sure that's Nickelodeon because they had their. I guess does Nickelodeon own them now? I don't really know.
I think they do. I think they have some stake through Paramount, maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, I did mention this to you when we heard of this. I think yesterday or something like that. I think what they should do. And they're not going to do this. They've already said this is going to be animated. If you want to make the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles truly cool again, because I feel like this movie, and it could be bigger, but I think it's definitely going to resonate with the fans of the Turtles and the kids that like them, and it'll probably do well, and it'll probably be a decent enough movie at least. But I think if you really wanted to make the Turtles blow up again, make them cool for not just today's audience, but yesterday's audience and everybody, go back to pretty much make a movie in the same vein as they did the 1990 movie. Get animatronic
Top
Turtles.
Gun Maverick it?
Yes. Get animatronic Turtles. Of course, they'd be a bit more sophisticated. Try and do as little CGI as possible. Just don't remake the 1990 movie, but make it in that vein with those same kind of animatronic Turtles and kind of that pseudo-campy style, but kind of, tongue-in-cheek seriousness. And just make that again. But, I mean, have a good story and everything, of course, but make a Turtles movie in that vein. And I think that would really capture the people like me that were there that were kids when it was there, but also like new audiences that are aware of the Turtles, that like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That would be a gateway for them to get in. And it would just be cool because like 80s and 90s nostalgia is really big right now. And if done right, that could be awesome. Now, if they announced that they were doing that, I'd be excited about this movie. I would be like, hell yeah, I want to see that. I mean, it might end up being trash. You never know with movies, but I would want to see something like that was going back to those roots. That would be really cool. I don't know if you'd make it a sequel to those original movies because they kind of started to go off the rails there, but just do it in that vein. I think they would be onto something. But, it's 2022. That's not what they're doing. They're making an animated movie. Okay, great. As far as like the style, well, I guess am I crazy there? Am I? No,
you're absolutely not. But I was thinking about this as you were talking. I wrote in the comment or the chat. I think they might be mimicking the '90s TV series, the movies, with the character designs, but animated. So I don't know. We'll see. But you're not crazy. Obviously, we've seen them 100 times now, or 100,000 times now, that you bring back 80s nostalgia, and it's gonna sell, and it's gonna do well. So, look at Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, but I would want them to actually do it with animatronics and all that. And I know that's more difficult than CGI. I don't know if it's more expensive. I guess it depends on what CGI you're doing, what animatronics you're doing. But man, that would be a true passion. What that would tell me, if they did that whoever's doing it, they truly, because to do that, you'd have to have a passion for it. It'd be something like the Dark Crystal show. I can't remember what it was called. I loved that show, and I loved the Dark Crystal because you would expect them to do something like that in CGI nowadays, but instead they decided to do it with traditional puppets like they did back then, and it was awesome. It looked like, I mean, it was nicer looking, but it very much fell in line with the Dark Crystal, and that's what people loved about it. Now, I mean, I will say with the Turtles, people don't just love that 1990s movie; they love the cartoon show. I guess the CGI animated versions that have come out in the past few years, those have an audience as well. It's more of the Turtles property, but I do think that 90s movie holds like it holds
still
a place.
Good.
Yeah,
have you watched it? It's actually really good.
Yeah, I reviewed it like a year and a half ago on its 30th anniversary, but it holds a special place in a lot of people's hearts, and it is still that Turtles property. That's why I think it would be a good. I think it might be difficult for some kids to go back and watch that movie now. Maybe not. I don't know, but I think that if you made a movie in that vein, it'd be a good crossover. But as far as like how the movie is going to look, they did go on record saying a rough hand-drawn look, despite its 3D CG animated characters, with a layer of 2D effects like those in Arcane that accentuate the rad mind of a teen. And it also said that the Turtles themselves.
Wait, did you say Arcane? Like the Netflix show?
The Netflix show. I've never watched it. I've seen the art style of it, but I've never watched it. So I guess kind of like a hand-drawn CGI thing. I've seen artwork like that before, and that could be cool. That could be really cool, and depending, kind of like the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, because that's kind of got a similar art style, I think, doesn't it? Where it's like
no, I mean that's more like I don't know what you call it, but I don't think that was the same as art. Maybe it was. I don't know.
Well, it's like CGI with traditional hand drawn over it to give it that feel. I mean, it's not exactly the same, but it's going for that same kind of look. They also said that the Turtles themselves will be voiced by actual teenagers rather than adult voice actors. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you're doing like actual live action human beings, yeah, sure, teenagers playing teenagers is great, but when it comes to voices, I mean, maybe I don't really care. But hey, good for them. They're being authentic in their Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. Right on. But yeah, that's where I stand on it. Not a lot more to say about it. I mean, I think that the movie will probably be a success. Whether it's going to reignite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles interest or not, I think that they're not huge, but they're big enough. I mean, they have mind share out there. Kids, they have a show that's going on. You just said that they have a new movie or a Netflix movie, so there's still an audience for it. I wish they would just go back to that old style, but update it. That'd be awesome. But that's not what they're doing. But we'll see if the movie's any good. I'm sure it's probably, if they haven't even started. Well, they did say that they have. They showed like a rough animation of a scene or something like that. So they've started some type of production on it, but they're not very deep into it. And these things take a long time to make. So I imagine it's going to be probably a year or two before probably more than a year or two before we see this
Comic-Con or something.
Yeah, we're probably going to get a trailer or something. But these movies take a long time to make, unless they make them really cheap. I don't know. We'll see. But that's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. If you're interested in that, and if you're looking forward to more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cinematic goodness, hey, get ready in a few years, I guess.